Welcome to Supercross coverage from Nashville, Tennessee, and the Big 49 is ready. Stretch is here in all his redneck glory. Moto Man's ready to bang his cousin. Jason from HYR's ready to sell some tractors, and Bookie Kyle's got his banjo out ready to take on those city slickers.
Yeah, that's where we're going with this right now.
Buttons, huh?
Yeah, new buttons.
Time to get our Supercross on the Big 49.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that part.
I like the dudes.
Yeah. Come on, you don't like Kyle playing the banjo?
Come on, Roscoe. You know Boss Hog's after us right now.
Wow. Sorry, that makes me laugh every time I hear it.
Yeah, it's a Big 49.
Yeah, we're here. It is Supercross coverage bright and early. It actually started at 6 o'clock in the morning if you are watching qualifying here on the West Coast. So we're through that. They are ready to race here in a couple hours. About noon, we'll drop the gate. Good news again. We got this on NBC TV. This is on regular Channel 4 as well as the Peacock. So if you don't have the package, you can still watch it today at noon. And I love that. That is absolutely awesome.
Well, it is an interesting little day today because I did get to watch a little Racer Live this morning, and they were talking about they had some rain come into Nashville, and the track is very, 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 very stiff. It's a really hard base underneath.
A lot of rocks.
So Nashville's new, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a football stadium.
Okay.
They're playing where the Titans play.
Nissan Stadium, yeah.
Yeah,
But they don't always race there, right?
No, I don't think they have, actually. I think this is like the first time they've been to Nashville.
In a while. They have in the past,
Yeah.
but they don't always. It's not a regular stop.
So they're going to this stadium anyway. They built the track, and it's got a really, really hard base underneath. And the top of it got pretty wet. I'd say the first 2.5 to 3 inches got pretty wet. So it's really slick on the top, and then it hits the base, which is really, really stiff. Okay. So all that being said, a lot of riders have said it is sketchy as F today. So just FYI.
Okay.
So super slippery is what it is.
I haven't seen the track at all.
It's a pretty standard track. It comes into a hard left turn from the starting gate. So with the left turn, it's smaller. It's actually no, it's longer. It's a football stadium. Okay. Yeah. So you got 75 yards of straightaway right in the middle. Comes out the middle, does a hard left turn, which makes it into a faster track because you're not braking into the right. That means your right foot is going to be more on the rear brake, and you're going to have access to the controls, which means it's going to be faster on the start.
Yeah, you can pivot on that turn after that high speed. Yeah,
exactly. So, all that being said, qualifying sandbag on top of sandbag.
For who? Who do you think is sandbag?
Everybody in the 450s was sandbag.
Really?
Oh gosh, I'm looking here at the overalls, and I'm going, yeah, that's
Except for Chase Sexton, never sandbags. He's Mr. Qualifying.
Chase Sexton came in, fast on his qualifying, but the reality is that for a track like this, all you need is a lane. You don't necessarily need prime, gate selection. You're gonna probably want to be towards the center of the gate start.
Right. Eli likes to be right outside the doghouse. I'm noticing this year.
About 6 spots in right there.
Yeah, about 6 spots in center. You don't want to be on the far right, and you definitely don't want to be on the far left. If you're on the far left, you're going to get sucked right into the wad. You're going to get pitched.
Yeah,
unless you are super fast. And then you coming into that corner,
you're done.
You're done. You're done. You're going to have so much speed that you're not going to be able to hit the corner, and you're going to overshoot it, or you're going to come in wide, and you're going to wad.
Someone around the outside is going to come.
Yeah. So right there, lane selection being dead center, 6 to 8 places in. That's right where you really want to be. And I guarantee you that's right where Eli Tomac's going to be.
Chase had the number 1?
Yeah.
Chase 1, Adam C2, Barsha 3. Now, Barsha, I know, has talked about in the press conferences, he is big on trying to get better qualifying because typically he's down like 7, 8, 9. And he's made it a concerted effort this year to be better at qualifying, and he's done it.
That's interesting, bro, because we were talking about that in the last couple weeks.
Exactly.
Do you have to be the fastest qualifier? Can you be Cooper Webb, or do you
Cooper Webb sandbags his qualifying every single time.
Right.
But by the way, I think it's yes
or do
and
you
no.
save it for the race? Right?
You save it for the race. So here's the interesting.
Or do you
people.
pump yourself up for the day? And
Like Chase Sexton.
You save it for the race, and overall, you got to save it for the race. Now, here's the interesting piece of news that everybody needs to think about today. Today is very critical for Cooper Webb. It is super critical for him because right now he's 11 points out.
Right.
At 11 points, if Eli grabs this one today, it's all over. Done.
Yeah.
Shooting match is
Well,
over.
especially if he doesn't make the podium. If he gets like second and Eli gets first, we're kind of, it's a point. It's not that big of a deal. But Coop hasn't been on the podium
Coop's
in a while now.
11 points behind
and
right now.
he was in position 8th
Last week.
today in qualifying.
Well, last week he came in at 8th in New Jersey.
And then Tomac 4th in qualifying today.
That is correct.
Yeah. But Tomac is Tomac.
Tomac's Tomac, and Tomac, is probably going to put it down like a BOSS today.
Yeah, because he smells the blood in the water. At this point, Eli does Eli things. The guy is a consummate winner.
Yeah.
And when he needs to win, he wins.
Yeah.
And he's amazing. Whereas Cooper's more of a grinder and will wear you down. You can't wear Eli down. That's the problem.
Cooper's only got 2 wins for this entire season. 2 overall W's.
And it's all about the best time.
Yep.
But they're all still in the 52s.
Yep.
So if you're within like a couple tenths of
a second, it's like, okay, you could be there. You could be there. I mean, looking at all the times, going all the way down to 19th is 56 seconds. Going all the way to first is 52 seconds. So that only gives you 4 seconds between 19th and first.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's a wad. Everybody's tight. Everybody's right there. And you're counting literally tenths of a second.
Unless you're on a 250, the only guy to break
Yeah.
the 52 is named Hunter Lawrence, and he only needs 20 points, period. If he gets 20th or better today, he wins the championship.
He wins.
I already won, bro. I had a jumbo jack for breakfast this morning.
Did you?
Oh, nice.
Congratulations on that. Wow.
I got chocolate chip cookies for breakfast.
I was going to say, Stretch just woke up. Yeah. I kind of just sort of got out of couch.
You know what
I'm going to say.
I just feel like I already won, bro.
By the way, Stretch, I think we need a new blanket for the lobby couch because
what'd you do to it?
I think that center cushion's just getting lumpy now.
Are you saying we need a new couch? That's expensive.
When you sleep on
Craigslist.
when you sleep on the lobby couch every single day, it finally gets a little old. And the other day we had a guest come in and they sat down on the couch and they said, "What's with this center cushion?"
Let's go to my old Landeros, bro. Go to old Landeros. Go grab yourself a couch.
Grab a new couch. All right.
Yeah.
It's not just rolling out
They're
of couch.
good. They're good.
Can't be wearing out the furniture, Moto. That's our main room.
Oh, by the way, the front desk right there. I did leave a little coffee ring right there at the front lobby desk. So yeah, just FYI.
We can't have nice things.
I didn't use a coaster.
Right,
Sorry. So
can't have nice things. That's what I know.
reception comes in Monday. It's going to look pretty gnarly. Oh, just saying.
She's gonna go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's gonna happen.
Was that a button?
Yeah.
No, it's an impersonation of a possible receptionist.
Exactly. Speaking of buttons, guess what? Guess what we got today? I've got some new additions to buttons for you guys today that are going to make everybody laugh.
All right.
I've got good buttons.
Wow.
About these damn buttons, huh?
I got good buttons. I got really good buttons today.
I'm kind of
Got
annoyed I'm not
amazing
getting to
buttons.
watch any racing today at all. Normally I get up, I catch the early preview on Peacock, and I hit rewind. And then when I hit rewind, I can watch 3 hours like delayed. And today it was already over when I woke up because I got up at the last minute.
That's a good one.
Yeah. See what I did right there? Stretch is good. Boom, Saiga.
Yeah. Price is right. Price is wrong, bitch.
That's all I'm saying. And of course, whenever Jason gets it right. Ding, 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 ding.
I have those same buttons. You're aware of that.
That's what I'm saying. But you don't have this one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Come on down.
Nice.
Jason, you just won the Price is Right. Nice.
Yeah. I've been waiting for this.
Nice. Just saying. So we've got new buttons here.
Okay,
we've got new buttons.
Here's a big question today for the both of you. We haven't done our picks yet. Who do you think, or where do you think Barsha and Roczen fall today? Because you got Sexton and Eli are going to be fast, and Cooper's going to be somewhere in there.
Are you wanting me to do picks right now?
No, but I'm saying where
I'm just going to
fill this out.
Where do they fall?
See how he works.
See how that works. Fall?
I see exactly where they.
Well, because Barsha's been on fire.
What's that first button?
Roczen's hit 2 podiums in a row. Barsha's hit 5 podiums in a row now. Barsha's screaming on fire.
Barsha is the one that everyone says their eyes
I think he's going to be on the podium today.
Yeah. Everyone's looking at Barsha today. They're going, Barsha's going to come out and really
the
dominate.
End of the season.
Going into outdoor.
Going into outdoor.
Gotta understand, May 27th, okay, less than 20 some odd days away, we are at Paula. We are set up in the dirt doing outdoor first race. Okay?
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of getting themselves situated right now for that one race. Okay? Because understand that the outdoor season is going to be shorter than the Supercross season. And then, boom, we're at the championship rounds.
Right.
And, there's only 3 of those. And then the last one, we're at the Coliseum in Los Angeles.
That's going to be pretty random all of a sudden.
I'm actually anticipating. I'm actually anticipating. I've got, like when you're a kid and you look forward to Christmas and you're going, it's only 23 days of Christmas, 22 days of Christmas. I'm kind of doing that a little bit with the Coliseum.
And we've had a little bit more racing this year.
We have a little bit more
because before it kind of.
Yeah.
It's actually been a normal year.
But
we've had a normal racing year.
There's going to be no time off. There's literally 0 time off this year. This is the first year we're ever going to have racing all the way to like the holidays. It'll be damn near November into Thanksgiving by the time this is all done.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying.
What's next week?
Next
look,
week's
right there
Denver.
in the board. Right there in the board. Grab that paper on the board right there.
We're Denver next week.
Okay. Denver's next week.
I'm pretty sure it's Denver next week and then Utah, right? We've only got 3 races left.
Yeah.
So we got Nashville, Denver, Utah, if I am not mistaken.
There you go.
And
Denver, Salt Lake.
Denver, Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Then you're in.
Yeah, and then 1 week off, and then we race again. And by the way, I may be done for the season after today. My real job is really fun right now, and we are what they call mandatory working. We're on like high alert, and we're on mandatory working for the next 2 weeks.
Mandatory high alert.
I have 0 days off from now until May 20-something before I get a day off again. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Wow. What's the deal with that?
Just how they work. It's how they roll.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am on no days off as of. I was supposed to have next weekend off, and then I was notified yesterday I get no days off. I'm going to be working those 2. So 0 days off for the next 18, 19 days.
Oh, that's got to be awesome.
Yeah. Especially when I still will work my other job, too. So I'm going to be really fried here very soon, or sick and dead, one of the 2.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
That means we're going to be pretty much covering Denver and Salt Lake on our own.
We could be. That there's a chance I don't have to work days on these weird extra days, and I may have to work overnights. So I know Utah I'm going to miss because it's going to be at night.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Utah's at night. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's next week's Denver?
It all depends on the time of the
Denver's
pairing.
next week.
So that'll be midday.
Well, not really, because Denver's only an hour ahead, not 3 hours ahead. So Denver is, I'm guessing, I might catch some of next week. So
I was going to say, I think they'll
falls.
probably do Denver in the night. Like it'll probably be, 5 o'clock our time?
Yeah. I'm going to be busy that day, too, because I've got female ride days coming.
Okay. I know that.
Oh, yeah. Moto's going to ride.
And Iron Goddess is doing
there's something I need to talk to you about Iron Goddess on. So we've got some stuff coming up with that.
Okay.
So very cool.
Are you joining Iron Goddess, Moto?
We're actually
because you identify as a lady.
No, we're actually
when you're on a motorcycle.
What we're actually going to do is we're going to put Stretch because his brother Buzz can't show up. So I tried calling Buzz the other day.
Yeah.
And I said, Buzz, hey, can you come out to California? And, of course, he asked if I could pay for it because his brother Michael won't pay for it.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, I'm trying to get him to do a video thing for me, but unless he does it, he's not coming.
After I talked to him for a little bit, and then he said he blamed it on his brother Michael, and he couldn't come, I said, you know what? I got an idea. So we're going to make Stretch into one of the Iron Goddesses in the Iron Goddess Motorcycle Club.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to put Stretch in there. But we're going to make him ride a Stasic.
Nice.
I think I would crush a Stasic.
Nothing says
think they make
funny
one big enough.
like a dude dressed up like a chick riding a Stasic.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Drinking a light beer?
I know that we're definitely
drinking light beer.
We're going to bring some bikes down there, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's going to be a pretty big event. You know, it's all female event. It's going to be pretty cool for them. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
let's rock it.
Where's it going to be at?
It's down by San Bernardino somewhere. I'm not sure. I have to find out.
Yeah.
909.
There's some other stuff going on too that I need to talk to you about.
Okay.
That I'm in the loop on now
Yeah.
because I know the guy that's the organizer. So
Can't say the guy anymore.
Oh, no. Moto knows
Yeah.
the guy. You got
I know
problems.
a guy.
You got a problem.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. But it makes for the day after Paula a very busy day.
Okay.
A very busy day. Like it's that weekend is going to be like Stretch's work schedule insane.
Yeah. And by the way, and I work
All right.
on
I got some
always
stuff
on
there
Sunday.
Too, but maybe.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Cool.
Right. All right.
All right. Well, let me jump out real quick. We're going to play a song here real fast, and then we will be back after with our picks after this. It's Big 40.
All right. Welcome to Supercross coverage from Nashville, Tennessee, and the Big 49 is ready. Stretch is here in all his redneck glory. Moto Man's ready to bang his cousin. Jason from HYR
Come here,
is ready
sissy.
to sell some tractors.
Yeah.
And Boogie
Yeah.
Kyle's
No, I
got his
like
banjo out, ready to take on those city slickers.
If I could sell cat D9s, I'd be all over it.
Wow. Hold on.
Something for the moto
Hey, sissy,
community. Something for the moto community.
Sissy.
Time to get our Supercross
Yeah.
on the
Come
Big
here.
49.
Yeah. Give Daddy some rubbing. Yeah, that's
There we
good.
go.
Yeah.
By the way, did you guys know Johnny Cash did a song for the Dukes of Hazzard 2 about the General Lee?
I did not know that
Yeah.
Johnny Cash did a song. I know that Waylon Jennings was very, very honored to have that role of doing that
No,
song.
it was Merrill Haggard. Merrill Haggard is the Dukes of Hazzard guy. Merrill Haggard's the guy that does the theme song, but
I thought Waylon Jennings did. No, Waylon Jennings did all of the narration.
yeah.
The original narration.
Merrill
That's what it
Haggard
was.
did the song, and then Johnny Cash has a song called "The General Lee," which is all about the Dukes of Hazzard TV show from back in the day. And they may have used either a song by Waylon or a song by Johnny at one point, and then they switched over to the Merrill Haggard, which is that iconic "Good Old Boy" song that we all know and love.
Got it.
Let's see if we can find that song.
Little TV
Yeah.
trivia.
We'll find that.
I've got
Well,
the
Johnny
Waylon-
Cash's song's called "General Lee."
I've got the Waylon Jennings version of the Good Old Boys.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
the best. I mean, that's
Yeah.
such an iconic theme
Great
song.
song.
It is one of the ones that the set you can hear 2 bars of that and go, "Oh God, it's Dukes of Hazzard."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good song.
I wish they would have had dirt bikes in the Dukes of Hazzard at some point.
That's what I was just thinking.
Actually, they did. There wasn't a couple episodes where Bo and Luke actually got on some Yamahas and went cruising around Hazard County on dirt bikes.
I don't
And-
remember that.
Where was
Yep.
the General Lee?
Well, the General Lee, it kind of comes
You
in and
know?
goes out, comes in, goes out,
that's
type
true.
thing.
That's true.
General Lee was a character of its own, by the way.
It was.
69 Dodge
Oh,
Charger.
God.
Can't go wrong with 69
Right.
Dodge Charger.
You want to hear the most iconic
They
So
destroyed
LA
those cars.
story ever?
Destroyed them.
Yeah.
So when my son was
was
living up
bad.
with his
Shut up.
satanic
As a
mother
kid.
up in Calabasas area up there, and started going to school up in that area, went to high school up there.
So when your kid was hanging out with John Schneider, isn't he?
Yeah, well, when the day he called me one day and he goes, "Hey, will you take me over to my friend's house this weekend?" And he just said, my friend, he said his friend's first name. He never said the last name. And he goes, "Will you drop me off over there?"
Cool.
I'm like, "Sure." Well, also, we drive back into these massive mansions in this area. And we pull into their driveway, and it's gated. and there's, a guest house and all this crap, and it's this beautiful house, and they got a motorhome and all kinds of luxury cars, and there's a car sitting there with a tarp over it, and I immediately recognize the model of this car just by the shape of it, and it's a Dodge Charger, and I look at it, and I'm like, wow, that's weird. He's got a sweet Dodge Charger with covers on it, and I can see only the rims and the shape. And I say,
if you see the Western wheels on it, it gives it away. A Charger with Western wheels is going to be the General Lee.
So then I say to my son, hey, what does your friend's dad do? Because when you pull into this estate, you're like, damn. And he goes, well, he's an actor. And I go, oh, that's cool. I go, he's got a cool hot rod over there. I go, it's like an old car called the General Lee. You wouldn't know about it. He goes, how did you know what that car is? And I'm like, what? Come again? And he goes, how did you know that's the car under there? They call it the General Lee. He goes, I don't know what it is. And I'm like, what's your friend's last name? And he's like, Schneider. And I'm like, oh my God, he's Bo Duke. And I lost my mind. And then, by the way, John was the nicest guy ever. And to this day, my son and John's son are like best of buddies and still hang out. But they were very good people.
Go take that thing out.
No, he sold it.
Well, John
sold it eventually. He lost all his cash.
John actually has a full thing. He has a
real General Lee.
He has a real General Lee now.
Not anymore. Sold it.
He has a whole spread in Louisiana, and I'm talking like a movie studio spread.
Right.
He has his own movie lot, and down in Louisiana, that's where he filmed the reunion of the Dukes of Hazzard. He filmed the thing called Christmas Cards with the Dukes. He's done a bunch of Dukes movies.
Remember, he also did country music and stuff too. That house had a recording studio.
So he's got all that stuff down there. So he's really, he loves it down there, and he got out of California early.
Dude, he got out. That freaking show, though, as a kid, right?
It's a great show.
Dude, great show.
Best show
the
ever.
Horsepower. You got,
well, the thing is they
jumping cars.
They destroyed thousands of Dodge Chargers. It got to the point to where they were making parts for Dodge Chargers. They actually had their own stamping for fenders and things like that, just so they could make cars, and they were making
to destroy them.
How fun would that be, bro?
Oh, dude, it's quite the deal. Warner Brothers had quite the deal going on with that whole, and it was a great franchise. It was a wonderful franchise.
Do you know what else Warner Brothers did at that point? And they had a fleet of General Lees, like you said.
Yeah,
they had a guy that would sit there with a buffer polisher, and he would polish the tires so that they would spin better, so that they could smoke the tires for the cameras.
Do you know who that guy was that did the buffing of the tires?
I don't know.
His name was Mike Reedy. He was one of my dad's best friends.
That's what they did.
So when I was a kid, my dad built race cars. My dad built race cars and hot rods, and kind of everybody he hung out with in high school and in college also did the same thing. And a lot of those guys became very famous people.
Right, because on Friday or Saturday night, you go hang out at the freaking car track, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, long story short, this guy comes over to our house one day, and he's hanging out, and my dad's like, hey, I want you to meet, I was probably 5, 6 years old, and he's like, I want you to meet Mike Reedy, da-da-da-da-da. And, okay, cool. What does he do? Yeah, he works at Warner Brothers. Oh, he works at Warner Brothers. All right, cool, whatever. And then Mike says, have you ever seen a TV show called The Dukes of Hazzard? And I was like, well,
come on.
I was like, yeah, for real. It's like the General Lee's the greatest thing in the world.
Dude.
It is, dude.
Kids don't have it like that these days.
Exactly.
Just this morning, my kid's got, he hops in the freaking, in the cereal, bro, and there's a toy in there. Right? Yeah. And, dude, they've taken toys away from cereal.
I love the toys in the cereal.
Oh, that was the best part of cereal.
I love the cereal. You go all the way to the bottom, and if you ate all the way to the bottom, you got the toy.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
They never have that anymore. Kids don't have it the same, bro.
No. They don't have good cartoons either. They don't have good cartoons.
Well, everything's PC, too.
Good TV shows. It was funny, though. So Mike comes over to the house, and he says, by the way, I work at Dukes of Hazzard, it's franchise, blah, 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 blah. And he kind of explains this to my dad. My dad's like, cool, right on. So what are you doing? And he goes, well, you ever notice, when the cars are smoking the tires on the TV? And my dad's like, yeah. He goes, that's not horsepower, right? And my dad's like, what are you doing? And he goes, I buff tires.
For a living.
I buff tires. I buff probably 2,000-3,000 tires a season.
So they're slippery as hell.
So they're slippery. Wow. I wax them and buff them to a shine. just so they'll smoke.
Okay. Do you know who else told me that same story, which is weird, is Jack, my old radio partner, podcast partner for years and years. His uncle was a big mucky muck over there and had an office at Warner Brothers. And Jack told me before, he's like, man, when I was a kid, I went to visit my uncle on the set, and I would always go over and look at the General Lee's because they had so many. And he goes, and there was a dude over there buffing tires.
Well, that was Mike Greedy. That was Mike Greedy buffing tires.
Like, and then I thought about it, and I was like, well, that's smart because it would cost you a lot of money to have big, powerful engines when you could have a crap little engine in that thing, and you're just going to wreck it. What do you care? And then buff out the tires so it'll smoke them.
They made General Lee's out of other cars. So, for instance, there were times when they would do those jump scenes.
Yeah, the Trans Am.
And they would literally take a frame and they would make fenders. And
put the big General Lee fenders on it.
And make it look like a Dodge Charger on the outside. Charger. But inside, the way they made them jump, because in a lot of cases, they were actually jumping a car. Now, if you've ever seen or taken out your buddy's car, like in high school, I'm not going to admit or not admit that I've ever probably maybe been around or jumped a car or two in my day.
Yes. They don't like landing.
Cars don't like jumping, first of all.
They like jumping. They just don't like to land.
They don't jump well. Yeah. They don't jump like a motorcycle jumps where it's nose up.
I have a little info on this. RX-7s do okay. The big Monte Carlos, those do pretty good.
Okay.
I had a Honda Civic did okay before. We're getting some good air.
Big Monte, I can see because it's a fairly well balanced. There's a lot of weight at both ends.
Wow.
So you're essentially trying to fly a pirate ship.
From just experience.
So I can get that. But most cars don't jump very well because they're very front end heavy.
Yeah.
So what they did with the General Lee is they made a mid-engine version of it. They
like
made
a Corvair or something?
Well, no, they took a V8, they took a Ford. It's just a 351 wedge Ford. They put it in the middle.
Are you saying there wasn't a Hemi in the General Lee?
I'm saying there was no Dodge motor to be found in that car.
And then they stalled stalled the footage, right? Like it would all of a sudden it would show, and all of a sudden it would pause, and all of a sudden here comes the jump.
Yeah. So what they would do is they would take this mid-engine Ford that they basically made a tubular chassis, put 69 fenders on it, 69 Dodge Charger.
That's before they had rewind on the remote.
Well, they made it look like a Dodge Charger, but it was a mid-engine. So literally the engine sitting in the middle of the vehicle, more towards the rear wheels. Right. So in that jump that you see at the beginning of Dukes or Hazzard, watch it again.
Watch the front end bend up on that
where
thing
you see them jump over the wash. It's a wash. Yeah. It's literally like they're jumping a river, and you see them jump over the wash. That was a real car that they literally hit that thing at 65 miles an hour, jumped it in the air.
Out at like Indian Dunes or something.
As it landed, as it came down, and they had really beefy suspension, and even then, they folded the whole front end of the car up when it landed because it still did a nose-first land. They never land flat. They try to land them as flat as they can, and that's why they mid-engine it, because if you can get the weight right, the car will actually fly. It'll actually get like a wing element to it, and it will come down fairly level, but even then, it blows out the suspension.
Dude, as a kid, that movie was like the Matrix.
Yeah.
That was
all amazing. Of a sudden, here comes the General Lee stalling in the air.
Yeah,
dude, as a kid,
freeze frame, slow-mo.
Freeze frame, slow-mo.
Oh man, it was like.
But you know what? They got
magic.
sloppy. They got sloppy on that show because there were times you would see, even without freeze framing it, you could see the guy jumping had a helmet on a lot of times. You could see the roll bars inside. You could see all that stuff.
The other thing that they did, and this is something Mike told me as a kid, because I always asked him, I go, how is it when you crash the cars? You could have so many crashed cars. And he goes, you want to know the secret? I said, yeah. He goes, paper mache. We would make fenders crinkled, like Roscoe, how Roscoe would always get in a crash or whatever. Rather than actually crashing the car, you would take the first car, come up, so they would take a shot as it's rolling in, freeze that shot, so stop it, and then they'd bring in a set car in the next shot, so the next scene you would see is it crashed, and that would actually be a paper mache whole front end, painted to look like a Ford.
Yeah, because
they do amazing stuff.
All the cop cars and everything almost kind of had that same fender almost.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing. They didn't have that many cop cars, too, because every time the General jumped, they jumped and crashed.
Every single episode, they crashed around I want to say it was 60 cars.
Couple caddies, a couple.
Yeah, well, they had a junk. That's the one thing about Warner Brothers is they used to have they owned junkyards full of cars.
Yeah.
And there was a time they had literally bought every single Dodge Charger they could find because they were wrecking so many of them.
Yeah, and they were a dime a dozen then, because that was in the hay of expensive gas prices, and people were getting away from that, and then we were really just getting economy cars.
And that's why they chose that car, because it was cheap. It was the cheapest car they could find that they could wreck gobs of them.
Yeah, what's that thing worth now?
We need to put that in the budget somehow.
What's it generally worth now? Like a regular old Dodge Charger of that year, probably $60,000 if it's running or so.
I saw one over at Paquito. You know, in Burbank, on Olive there, next to Paquito Moss, there used to be a car guy behind him where that Chevron station is.
Yep.
There was a car guy right there that had 2 General Lees right there that he was working on.
God.
And they were going for well over $100,000 each.
Holy moly.
They're well over $100,000 each.
I'm sure.
Wow.
But part of that is the fact that they're so rare now because they wrecked so many of them.
Yeah, because they were taken off the table.
They literally got so many of them wrecked. It was like there was so little of them left.
I worked at Warner Brothers there for a little while, driving on the lot, and there's still a lot of General Lees around there. They've still got a bunch of them.
It's an iconic. Yeah. It's an icon of their brand. Like it's like Warner Brothers would never get rid of Bugs Bunny.
Right. Well, you know what though? They've effed with them. They've taken the rebel flag off the roof of a lot of them.
They took the rebel flag off of them, and they've done little things like that.
PC'd them up.
But they're still it's a icon of that brand.
Right. It's also called the General Lee, who was the leader of the Confederate South. You can't really lose that if you change it. What are you gonna call it? The General? Or the Lee?
Well, they called it the General sometimes, but the other thing that the Warner Brother has so many different iconic brands that they've created over the years. Yeah. So the Super Friends. Remember Super Friends, the cartoon when we were kids?
Yeah.
So as you
Super Friends of Motocross?
Exactly. So as you drive around on Olive Avenue, when Olive turns into Barham, right next to the Warner lot, right there,
Triangle Building.
Yep.
Yeah.
Across the street is the actual lot itself. When you look at the lot, there's a whole sound stage. They made the whole side of the sound stage at one period look like the Hall of Justice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the cartoon. It looks just like the Hall of Justice, and it's all of the Super Friends are all around it, all kind of drawn up, really cool.
And that going back to kids, the Bugs.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh, it's
Bugs Bunny that's an iconic one.
Bugs Bunny was down the street at the ranch. Yeah. That's where all the animation, old animation was done down at the ranch, which is down the street from the Warner Brothers studio.
Yeah, more just like all those the ones that got me upset about Warner Brothers. If I'm really going to get down on Warner for a second, is I will say they tried to PC out the 1940s Warner Brothers cartoons.
Can't do that.
That made me mad because I was like, no, don't, you can't. Even Steven Spielberg came out this week because he pulled the guns in the original E.T. The G-Men all had guns as they were going through the forest.
F that guy. That guy's the leader of that BS, and now he's looking back, realizing it was wrong.
It was wrong.
Dick, Steven Spielberg.
Well, at least he's correcting himself on that, and he goes, "I'll never do that again."
There's people still living in his brain, bro.
And by the way, he's
running this world, right?
Yeah. He also destroyed the freaking oh my God, the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he screwed those all up as well, just being a PC little bitch. So that guy can suck it. He lives very close to me, by the way. He lives up the hill. I freaking hate that guy.
You want to go egg Steven Spielberg's house?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that area is gated. I'm in the non-gated normal person area. He's up on the top of the hill, gated. Like right there. His house is massively massive, but he is a PC little bitch.
All those guys
probably has like tunnels through the hill
to hide from people like me that come and like, you PC a-hole.
So here's a question I do have, because I haven't heard a lot of stuff on this, and this is going to play into motorcycles and everything else that we talk about here. It was talked about that Elon Musk was talking about to the city of Los Angeles about tunneling from the valley into the west side.
It's funny, Sal. I was just wondering about that because Elon's been on news this week.
Do you know why he did it, though? Do you know why he did that? This is how long ago it was. It's when he lived over here in the Beverly Hills, West Side area, and he was trying to tunnel to Hawthorne because he got tired of sitting in traffic going to SpaceX every day.
So my question being is, did they
serious.
ever get that tunnel done?
No, they would never approve. Everyone hates him. The guy just here's what I like about Elon Musk. Everything he does is for the betterment of society. Granted, he's making billions of dollars. Don't get me wrong. It's a business. But tunneling would have alleviated traffic. The electric cars, I get, were good for the environment. Like, everything he's doing is for the better of everyone, yet they cockblock him at every angle because he's a conservative. Musk. He's not liberal. Okay. If he was a liberal, they would have just let it go, dude. They literally would have went along with him. But because he's conservative and he puts his money behind the other side, they cockblock him at every effing angle.
So he makes shit happen.
Yeah,
he does.
So I watched an interview with Elon Musk the other day. I actually watched a full-length interview with him, and he said flat out, he goes, "I've only voted for one Republican in my whole life, and it was after I moved to Texas."
Right.
So he's not that big of a conservative.
He is now. He's changed. By the way, he sold every property he owned in Los Angeles and moved away. He got out of California completely because of Democrats, and then he saw them just demonizing him for having views that weren't in line with theirs, and he realized, wait a minute, I'm not a Democrat. These people hate me, and then he became a conservative.
I don't know if Democrats are Democrats anymore. It used to be, Republicans used to be Democrats.
Yeah, I know. That's true. Very true. A long time ago.
I don't get half the crap that's going on. The only thing I want them to stop, and this is the only thing I'm going to say that's remotely political, is you can't stop motorcycles and dirt bikes.
We've got to get together and stop that in California.
We've got to stop all of these laws in California. We got to stop them.
No, they're already through. We've got to vote people out and reverse and cancel out the policies that have already been put through.
And I've seen a little bit of info with that. I'll kind of get back to that maybe in the next week or two.
Okay.
We'll get back to that, but there is some info out on that.
I got a guy too. I'm thinking about trying to get on the show just to talk about that we can put some pressure on. He's a politician that is hitting me up all the time for stuff, and I need to talk to him and see if we can get him on the show and get him to talk. He doesn't talk about that. That's not one of his issues, but trust me, if we bring it up, it may be. And
it's one of our issues.
It definitely still needs to be a fight. It needs
to be addressed.
It needs to be addressed. There needs to be some stuff there.
It's one of our issues. It's
so we got to put it in his
ear. To this radio station, we are all about dirt bikes. We are all about motocross. We're all about supercross. We're all about your rights to ride and be able to ride forever and ever and ever. 2-stroke, 4-stroke, I don't care. Yeah. I want to be able to ride my dirt bike.
Destroying economies, man. The Baja, Mexico survives on that stuff.
And, I don't want to put people out of work.
And all these, these rallies that people, there's little countrysides in our country, in our states.
Yep.
That survive still on motorcycles coming through.
Yeah, well, out in the boondocks. They're going to create new ghost towns.
There's ghost towns that are surviving because of motorcycles right now.
Yeah,
motorcycles are Americana. It's a key part of who we are and what we're about. And as far as I'm concerned, they're sacred. You do not touch them.
Don't touch them.
You can't touch motorcycles. You can touch a lot of other things in this world, but don't touch motorcycles. That's kids and motorcycles. Don't touch either one.
Right.
Yeah, don't mess with them. Leave them alone.
By the way, did you see that in Florida? In Florida this week, in a bipartisan deal, they voted through death penalty for people that do bad things to children.
Good.
So if you're a child rapist or something like that, you're going to get the death penalty in Florida, and it was voted through by both sides.
Good.
A bipartisan deal, and I was happy to see that.
Good. There should be consequences.
Yeah. There's no fixing a child molester. No. They should be put to death, and I don't think anyone has a problem with it, and that's why it went through there. But you know what? That would never pass in a gazillion years in California. Never. No. We won't even put any child murderers to death, let alone child rapists.
Or just check our voting system or something here.
Yeah.
Do something.
Something's got to be fixed, because I've got a shop full of dirt bikes that I want to be able to ride for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I want to ride.
Man.
Ride. So speaking of riding, does everybody have their picks ready?
I'm ready.
What are we going to start with? KTMs? You got your KTMs? I got my top 5 right there.
I've got something I'm going to start.
We got kids back.
Do we have kids today? Oh, crap. I haven't done that. Now I need a minute.
I'm going to start something here. So you're going to let... All right, I'm going to let Jason go first. I'm going to start a new piece of music here. Listen to this one. All right.
Wow.
What are your picks, Jason?
For the 250S. We're going to go with Hunter Lawrence today.
Okay.
Come on down the aisle.
Nice.
Top 10 answers on the board. Here's the question.
Jordan Smith is going to be number 7.
Okay.
Come on down.
Wow.
All right. So you're going Hunter Lawrence, Jordan Smith,
Hayden Deegan.
Okay.
Max Anstey. Blos.
Oh, nice. Good call. Well, Stretch, who are your 250 picks?
I'm going Hunter, who only needs 20 points, but I think gets the win. Then I'm taking Smith, Deegan, Anstey, and I'm going with Shimoda, who qualified well today, but hasn't been a factor since his return. I'm going to think Shimoda's going to be a top 5 today.
Okay.
Yeah. That's who I got for the 250s.
All right, my 250 picks are this: Hunter Lawrence, Hayden Deegan, Jordan Smith, Max Anstey, and Joe Shimoda.
You're going Shimoda too?
Shimoda's the only person I wasn't going to put on there.
Yeah.
I was thinking he was
Joe
going to be in there,
Shimoda
and I decided
he
to change him up for
qualified well.
Blos.
He qualified well today.
I did Joe Shimoda. Just I want to give the guy a break, and he is last year's MVP. I mean, he really did improve more than anybody else did.
God, last year he was pushing Hunter last year, and Hunter is phenomenal.
Yeah. So I give him credit there. I've got my 450 picks ready. Does anybody have their 450 picks ready?
I got my 450 picks.
All right, Stretch, you go first on 450s.
Let's take Chase Sexton for the win, followed by Eli Tomac, followed by Justin Barsha. That is your podium. And then Webb and Roczen for the 4-5.
Wow.
And my Dino Wilson at number 10.
Oh, God, I hate you so much right now. All right,
that's crazy.
I'm gonna go with Eli Tomac for the win, Chase Sexton for the number 2, Barsha for the number 3, Webb and Roczen 4 and 5, and then I'm gonna go with Dino at number 9.
Okay.
This is a funny day. So
what do you got?
Who did you pick number 1? I want your reasoning on that.
I picked why Sexton number 1?
Picked Sexton number 1.
You know why? Sexton's got he's out. He's got nothing to lose, and I think taking that pressure off of Chase. Chase is a very mental athlete. He is.
Webb's got nothing to lose. Dude.
Yeah, but Sexton is the fastest guy on the freaking track every single week. We see it proved in lap times. He is the fastest rider out there, and when he's out of his own head, today's a good day for Sexton to win, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's over for him. Barsha, by the way, no one's talking about that. Barsha ended his championship hopes last week when he put him down in New Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, Barsha, everybody's looking at Barsha going, look at him go. He's riding better now than he's ever ridden his entire career.
Right.
He is.
So he's
podium
ready on a regular level. So
5 in a row.
I've got him at number 3 today.
So
this is crazy picks here, but yeah, I went Chase Sexton number 1 for the same reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that Eli doesn't have to get there right now.
Yeah,
all
just got to
has to do is beat Cooper.
He just has to beat Cooper. So I got Eli number 2.
Okay.
Barsha number 3.
Oh, you stole my picks.
Okay.
But here's where you guys are I'm gonna throw you guys off right here.
Okay.
Adam C.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna put number 4 today.
All right.
And I'm gonna go Jason Anderson number 5.
Wow.
Adam C coming off a little bit of an injury last week in New Jersey. Remember, he landed on the back of Barsha in practice and then bonked his head. So he was dealing with a concussion protocol, but I imagine he's fine.
That's a little double team green there, and it's odd for Jason to go double team green on that.
It is, but I'm it's always 60-40.
Yeah, 60-40.
And I got
60-40. I have to hand it to you.
Jason's repenting. He's repenting for all of his last chance Kawasaki comments and everything he makes all year long.
Stretch, what's your Dino pick?
10. Dino's 10.
Dino's 10.
Yeah.
Jason, Dino pick?
Number 9.
Number 9. So I'm 9 as well.
By the way, I got Dino last week. Last week was the weirdest week we've ever had because we called it a day, and then about an hour and a half later, we're like, they're racing. I did not think they would race again that night. It was weird to see what happened last week.
One of the weirdest race schedules I think we've ever had in the history since we've been starting this whole thing in 2020.
Crazy.
We've never had a race schedule that weird.
I was listening to you guys on the way home. It was kind of trippy.
Freaking weird.
Odd.
It was like, wait a minute. And you know what's funny? I had fallen asleep with the TV on still, and then I woke up, and they're like, all right, we're resuming racing, and the guys are coming out of the tunnel back in the gate, and I'm like, is this from earlier? And then I'm like, holy crap, they're racing.
Yeah, that was random, bro.
Yeah.
And listen to you guys, by the time I got home, I saw the TV. I'm like,
yeah.
That is random.
What a great race, though, in that mud.
So let me throw this down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Mark Pinetry. He's coming from Hawaii.
Okay. You're talking about the KTM Futures.
KTM Futures.
I don't have anything on that today.
So,
I don't even know who's
I know
in
you
it.
don't. That's why I'm throwing it
My
out there.
KTM guy did not even send me an email like I typically would.
And that's
get.
why I'm just throwing this
Yeah,
out.
I'm going to have to find one before we get
Caleb
there.
Skaggs.
Caleb Skaggs. Okay.
Number 4, coming from North Carolina.
Okay. So hold on here. So we're going to go with Jason, KTM Futures.
We'll get that background.
You're going to go number 4? Oh, you want to do
Yeah, we'll get that background.
Hold on here.
There we go. Thanks.
All right.
Wow.
Little family feud right there.
Because this is where the big money is.
And this is where the big money is. Graham Wampler, San Bernardino, California, bro. You got to give it to him. He's making it happen.
So hold on here. So KTM Futures, your pick is number 4, correct? Number 4. Okay.
Number 2. It's going to be number 2, and then it's going to be number 4.
Oh, number 2, then number 4,
And then number 5.
then number 5.
And then I'm going to go.
God, Jason's got a whole slew. Usually we just pick a winner. Jason did some in-depth research on this today.
He did full on top 5 lineup
Brady
here.
Caudell. He's coming from Apple Valley. We got to give it to him.
Oh, nice. Apple Valley going out to Nashville.
Number 11.
Congratulations.
Bobby Steffens. He's also coming from San Marcos, California.
Ooh. Okay.
Wow.
A lot of local kids out there
Nobody
from Nashville.
from Nashville.
Wow.
Nobody. Well, you know why? Because they're e-bikes. They're not getting e-bikes in Nashville. They're like, you get that common bike up out of here. I ain't gonna ride that.
I'm
That's what
thinking.
they're saying.
I'm thinking.
Roscoe.
I'm thinking there's
Roscoe.
I'm thinking there's more to it than that. I'm thinking that they had, because I've seen the application form for this, and a lot of parents on the West Coast and a lot of parents on the East Coast probably put their kids in pretty quickly because they're the ones that have the time and the energy to do that. If you're in the middle of the country, you probably don't have a lot of time to send your kids out to go racing.
I'm telling you, there's some racing there. It's a football world there.
Yeah,
you are a boy. You were put in football, and dirt bikes is fun, and you do it on the weekend. It's not so much racing. And also, don't get me wrong, you can go ride behind your house out in the woods. It's not so much, getting on a track and racing. They don't have a ton of that like we do.
The
We have more tracks
Carolinas,
here, yeah.
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got that there. So there's some factor to that you can ride anywhere and everywhere. And I remember going back to Alabama and riding dirt bikes just through town, down the road, down to the liquor store, getting like a soda with my cousins and stuff and brothers, and then just riding dirt bikes back. And you drive by the police and wave at them. It's no big deal there. It's not like here where everything's a federal offense.
So just to recoup this, on Jason's KTM Futures, he's got number 2, number 4, number 5, and number 11. Wow. Congratulations.
I'm just throwing it down.
You went down like a BOSS on that.
I'm just going to throw it down.
I'm loving that. Wow.
No, who do you got? Because I got nobody. I still can't find.
I did not get my
anything.
I did not get my super secret intel that I normally get, or else I'd be like, all right, number 11. My guy says that's the one to watch.
Last week, that's why I won. It's because the kids' challenge, or because of the
Yeah.
futures. So
Yeah. So you did well.
that's what's keeping.
You did well.
That's keeping the red flag.
No, you didn't win. I won. I won last week. Back it up. I'm the only guy that got the Dino pick
Jason.
last week, and I'm the only guy that took Barsha for the win. I won last week.
Here's the thing, Jason.
Let's make no mistake
Here's
about
the thing,
that.
Jason. You eat on red
But I had
China all the time.
I had the
anyway.
super futures
So-
like 1 through 4.
Yeah.
And then I had, the 250s.
We didn't have
such.
futures last week. We had futures last week, but we didn't have the KTM Kids futures.
Here's the thing, though. When I give Jason whatever points I have, and compounded with the points that he had,
Well, you give Jason your used butt plug too, and that's a whole nother party we're not going to talk about.
We figure out that the fact is that the whole goal here in this whole game for everybody is beat Stretch.
Stretch beat the pants out of the field
Beat
last
Stretch.
week.
Beat Stretch. That's all.
Because who's the only guy to take Barsha on his only win of the season? The only time I pick him.
You did pick Dirk Diggler for the win last week. So congratulations.
And I nailed the Dino pick too. So I was at 20 points just on my 450s plus the other. I had other points in there as well. It was a good day.
All of that being said, I am going to jump out real quick, and we will be back in a couple songs. It's a big 49.
I'm watching Drone.